Hey everyone, welcome back to Man Down Sports WNBA panel. We are live. Happy Friday to you all, and thank you all for joining the stream. Man, oh man, we have a really amazing game. Super, super competitive series between Aces and the Mercury. Man, the WNBA this year has just been on fire. Lots of stories, lots of narratives, but I mean, we're all really happy to be here. So I'm Dominique. We have Brianna Bull from the No Bull podcast. So super amazing content that she's delivering. Guys, go ahead and subscribe to her channel, like, share, and subscribe to this video as well. We have Kaja from Simply Just Sports. So go ahead and subscribe to her channel as well. And we also have Angela. She is just a wonderful content creator. You can find her on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I have actually reacted to one of her videos, super hilarious. And you know, I'm really grateful to be here. So happy Friday. Thank you all ladies for being here as well. I hope you guys have had a great week. So let's just kind of jump right into this first topic. And I'm sorry I actually started with the fee graphic, but game one, Aces versus Phoenix. What were some of the key observations from game one that we all might have noticed? I mean, we did actually, if you guys remember last week, Friday, Brianna and Kaja, these two lovely ladies, they were saying that Alyssa Thomas should have been the MVP. And so how do you feel about her performance tonight? What were some key observations that you guys made in game one?
Well, as it pertains to AT, like her performance specifically, I love what she did in the first half. Her and Kalia, of course, saw too. But to me, down the stretch, I did not like the shot selection as a whole from the whole team. I can't just put it solely on her. But that last where she was going up for the layup, like she was trying to get the 2 points, but she ended up like elbowing. Who was she elbow? I forgot just that fast. She elbowed her trying to go for the 2 points and ended up having the whole challenge reviewed and everything else, and then missed both of the free throws. I'm like, you didn't have to do that because Satu was right there. You could have just passed to Satu, easy 2 points, or maybe she could have got fouled and then go on. So to me, that was unnecessary. And she's smarter than that. I was like, don't try to go for the foul and then you miss the 2 free throws. But obviously things led up to that point. But I didn't like that down the stretch. But I'm not going to go too hard on her. Like I said, she's still MVP AT. I stand on it 10 toes down. When they win, because they're going to win this series, she will be the finals MVP. She deserves it. She almost had triple double again. Even aside from what happened down the stretch, she still once again had triple double, almost. So I'm not going to come down too hard on her.
Oh no, kind of sounds like a LeBron fan.
No.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding, Kaja. No, seriously, standing on business is what we love over here on Man Down Sports. That's what our panel loves. That's what really, I think, makes us great because we're going to come on here and tell the truth and call it how we see it. So thanks for standing 10 toes down. Brianna, are you standing 10 toes down after this game one performance?
You know it. I really felt Mercury was gonna win the entire time, and I was like, I echo Kaja's sentiments like to a T. But just to share a little bit of my perspective of what I saw from the game, I really enjoyed Mercury and how they moved the ball around. The intensity. To me, it looked like Asia was a little shook up by what was going on. I think I just I hear a little feedback echo. Hold on.
Maybe Angela, it's probably coming potentially from you. Why don't you mute your mic and see if that's help? Yep.
Okay.
So I think if Angela's going to speak, then you want to unmute so that we don't get that kind of feedback.
But yeah, I was just saying, like with Phoenix, I love how they move the ball around. That's when Mercury is going to win. And I had said yesterday on my show that the key to both of these teams is going to be because it's like the battle of the heavyweights per se, because both teams are so large in size. It was like going to be up to tempo. And I would say shout out to the Aces who managed to match the tempo of the Phoenix Mercury. And but I really loved how the Mercury were moving the ball around and the Aces were a little slow to react. I also said what the Aces would need to improve on was preventing those second chance opportunities, because Phoenix is really good at doing that. And that's where a lot of their points came from as well. But at the end of the day, yeah, Phoenix didn't hold it down the stretch, but we've seen them in this from in the playoffs come back down 20 against the best team in the league, the Minnesota Lynx. So yes, they fell short this time, but I don't anticipate, this does not set the tone for the rest of the series. If anything, we should be excited and rejoicing as a Phoenix fan, because it's only gonna be up from here. I don't see them trending downwards. They look like a completely different team out there tonight, even better team than what we've already seen.
Wow, that was a fire take, Brianna. I felt like you were in my head when you said that take, just because the Aces, they look so discombobulated, actually. I just want to add to what you said. They look super sloppy in the first quarter in particular. And I thought that maybe perhaps both teams were adjusting to the officiating a little bit. Like, hey, how are they going to call this game? How do we really want to play tonight? It seemed like they were figuring out how they wanted to play throughout probably the whole first half. And I think that that's where we saw some adjustments made in the second half. And I mean, Alyssa Thomas couldn't score. They're scorers that were showing up big for them and coming up in the first and second quarter. They just couldn't deliver. So I thought that it was just very, I thought it was really interesting how the Aces were able to just show up huge down the stretch. Both teams were hitting shot after big shot. It was just a super exciting game. It felt like, I don't know. It just felt very electrifying. So I'm grateful to be able to see a 7-game series of the WNBA, and I just hope that I hope it will go 7. That would be really exciting. I mean, AT MVP. I think she's got. I think you guys know what I think. I think she is.
What do you think?
I think she's in that. I think she's in that category with, people that go to the finals often and they come up short. I call them serial losers. Okay. And so, I like her. I think she's got a, game. I do think that she has a game that is based on brute force. And I think that that's wonderful for her. But I think she needs to go get that surgery. I think that's why she didn't hit those free throws, because she can't hit shots that are, more than 1 foot away from the basket.
The disrespect is real. Because we have seen her hit shots, okay, like that is further away from the basket, specifically like to what you said. Something else I noticed that I thought,
it's like she's throwing up a prayer. She's throwing up a prayer. The girl is throwing up a prayer every time, and we're in the finals, and so
you should always give it to God.
I'm with you there, but that can't be the only thing that makes the shot go in. It's got to be all of the stars have to align. So we've got to thank God. We've got to actually have the talent and the ability to get the shot in the rim. And she does have the ability, but I just wish she was playing at full force. I don't want the excuse, she's not able to lift her arm above her shoulder. Like, I don't want that excuse for her. She's a talented player, and I get it. She probably feels like missing time is going to take away from her prime, but I just wish she did it, 3 seasons ago? We could be looking at a different AT that's knocking down her free throws and really showcasing her guard-like skills, and not just the brute force that we see bum rushing the paint, offensive fouling oftentimes.
Well,
so I was on TikTok live during the whole game, and when AT shot those 2 free throws, I was actually just talking to my live, and I wasn't watching her shoot the free throws because I was like, well, she'll hit them. And then when they went back down the court, I'm like, why didn't the score change? What just happened? And everyone was in my live like, she missed them both. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean she missed them both? So that was kind of crazy watching that or seeing that.
Yeah, for some reason, Angela, your screen is blacked out. We can hear you, but we can't see you.
We can't see you, yeah.
Let's see. Let me turn it off and what about now? No?
Not yet.
No, ma'am.
Let me click off and come back.
Okay.
I mean, guys, how many greats do we see in a game who don't necessarily hit their free throws and aren't great shooters, but they're still considered greats? We could go down some lists, and I'm pulling a little bit from the NBA, but I don't think AT. Yes, it's important that she hits her shots, but I didn't see Dom. I didn't see you hold the same level of scrutiny to Asia when she wasn't showing up in her games that you're holding to AT in this moment. And they
I
wouldn't
actually
even
just haven't
arguably wouldn't be in this moment without her.
I just actually haven't had the opportunity to criticize Asia Wilson as much. I don't think that she had a strong first half. I don't think you've actually seen me talk much about the aces. So, you know, whoever the star player is on the team, whoever's being trusted with the ball in that moment. And I think, and I'll be really honest with you guys, I think every single WNBA player is good and really special. So, Angela, you should probably just mute your audio. Yeah. So I just think that most WNBA players are super talented, really special, and they have so much to do. Like any one of them can go off at any time. But Asia Wilson, when she's playing like shit, I'm going to say it, and you guys better believe it. So nobody is exempt from, being criticized. And I think that Asia Wilson, she deferred a lot in this game. I saw her not being aggressive in this game. And that's my criticism for Asia Wilson. So if we want to talk about her specifically, she was not aggressive in this game. She missed shots that she normally hits. I was a little disappointed in her performance. Yeah, she was the highest scorer on her team, but I didn't feel it. I didn't even know she was.
Yeah.
I'm just really honest. I felt like I didn't feel her presence as much in this game. And she was defensive. She blocked shots, but offensively, I saw her deferring in moments where I would have liked to see her just drive the damn ball. I really think that, that was missing from her tonight. Chelsea Gray was off. I did not like her wild shot making. Evans, it's so funny. She was streaky. She reminds me of Jordan Poole. So I really don't like to compare NBA to, I hate to compare NBA to WNBA because I don't think that the leagues are analogous at all. But that's just who she reminds me of. Every time I saw her, like when she would throw up a shot, I'd be like, why did you give the damn ball to Evans? Get her back on the bench. Like every time she would make a mistake, I wanted her out of the game. But then she would go ahead and surprise me. And she reminds me of Jordan Poole, someone who could come up big for you or could make a wild mistake and you just want to like shake her. So
Mercury, they struggled with Evans the last game. So I'm really surprised to see they didn't make adjustments to ensure she didn't go on the same run that she did before. And here she did. She actually scored more this time around than their
it's like they're refusing to guard her. They don't believe her. Just like I kind of like they don't believe in her. They're not giving her the respect she deserves. Almost like, just okay, we're going to really not pay much attention to her. Like TJ McConnell and when we saw in the NBA Finals this past season, he was their X factor for the Pacers, unlikely X factor. And so I just think the Aces, I mean, they pulled out a really close game. I think that this game was the Mercury's to lose because the Aces made plenty of it. I mean, they missed so many defensive assignments. Did you guys see all of the defensive assignments that they missed throughout the entire game?
Oh, yeah.
They seemed like a lot of mismatches. I mean, it was a lot of time. It was a few times I saw Jackie Young was guarding AT, and that really got her in trouble.
Yeah, I was like, who did that? I was like, get off AT. I was like, who gave her that assignment? Stop it, please. I was like, is that on purpose? Like, what was that? That threw me for a loop. I was like, that Jackie?
Yeah. And she
but
was
my screen was messed up.
A lot of fouls this game too. On both ends.
Mean, I know that I brought this up to you guys privately, but Becky Hammond's outfits, can we get her a stylist?
Please.
I love Becky and her little fits.
I love it too. I thought it was nice and comfy.
I hate it. I need her to get a stylist.
I need to see her style.
Her.
It's just this nasty hoodie with the blazer, and it's just every game. It's one thing
I
if she
bet
did
they're
one.
customized though. Like
I
it
don't
seems
like it.
like
They
she
need to
got like people
uncustomize
making
it.
blazers
It's
for her.
terrible.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was like, that's what you had put it like in the chat. I was like, I loved it though. That's her thing, you know. Like, and look, they're back in the WNBA finals. So, in spite of her hoodie, blazer combo, it's working. Okay, it is working for her.
That's true.
She looks better
That's
than
a
Reed.
small detail, but it is a little annoying.
Well, I
That's
do see
funny.
a really good comment in the chat, and salute to Mel from Man Down Sports. What y'all think about AT's 5 turnovers?
Yeah, that
I
was
think
rough.
that she almost had triple double yet again. Someone focus on that.
It seemed like the ball for Mercury, like their hands were slippery or something, because they were making like decent bounce passes and it just was slipping right through their hands. Like it was just weird. The ball had some extra bounce in it tonight, for sure.
Extra bounce. So we're
Yeah.
just going to
And Vegas scored 20 points off those turnovers, so that was huge because Phoenix
Yeah.
only scored 10 points off turnovers. So yeah, that was huge. And then Satu with that tech. I mean, you're talking about a 3-point win. So silly mistakes like that in the finals can't happen. You know, maintaining their
Turnovers.
composure, things like that. But yeah, turnovers. I think they had 17, something like that.
They were silly,
You've got to take
unnecessary turnovers.
You have to. The triple double becomes honestly irrelevant when you're getting that amount of turnovers and they're scoring off of them. I think even the assists, I think turnovers erase assists when you're getting that many at a high clip that are converting to points.
Yeah, I agree.
Excuse that. And I mean, AT, she's the captain of her team. I'm going to give her flowers for really leading them, taking on a brand new team to the finals in the same season. That is in and of itself a huge accomplishment. So I don't want to take anything away from that. But we're going to break down the game one. No, we're just going to break down the game one. We're going to talk about, so we talked a lot about what we saw. So how do we think what we saw kind of just sort of ties back to the data? When we take a look at the team stats, what do we feel like we're seeing here? So obviously, Kalia Copper, she scored the most points for Phoenix, and Asia Wilson, they're tied up 21-21. Copper was a little bit more efficient. Wilson had more touches, right? But when we take a look at the team stats and we just, Aces, they had more shot attempts.
Right.
That's exactly is there anything that you guys?
Because Phoenix had a better free throw percentage, field goal percentage, and 3-point percentage, but the Aces shot more free throws. That was essentially the difference.
Do you think that those free throws were deserved? Do you think that the 7 shots is a huge disparity based on what you saw?
I think the fouls were actually, considering the refs we've been dealing with this whole season, I don't think the refs were really much a factor tonight. There weren't really too many bad calls.
Yeah.
There was no point where I was like, that's terrible.
The officiating was on point, I felt. When we take a look at these turnovers, though, Phoenix had 14 of them, so they doubled the amount of turnovers.
Exactly. That's their, because I think rebounds were like 34-32 or something like that. It was pretty even. Assists were pretty even. Now steals, Vegas 9. So that's a turnover. Ultimately.
Yeah, they had very silly turnovers. They were nonsensical turnovers. I mean, just like kicking the ball off the leg, just simply losing the handle. It wasn't good. The turnovers that we saw, they weren't like always just super force from ball pressure from the Aces.
Right.
So, I suspect that they'll clean some of that up in game 2. Yeah. But when we take a look at the box score, is there anything that sticks out to you guys from, an individual player perspective?
For me, I love that Jewel Lloyd was more active today from the beginning of the game. Like from the time that she got in. I feel like she's been very inconsistent throughout the playoffs, but tonight she really showed up. She was big to me. I know Asia had the most points in that team, but to me, Jewel Lloyd and Dana Evans to me were the key factors in the win tonight.
I think that Jewel Lloyd did fantastic. She had 16 attempts, so she was getting the ball a lot. And I think that really goes to show how the Aces respond and pivot when their star players can't score the ball. And the way that they looked for her and could rely on her, I think that was something to really, appreciate when watching.
To me, I thought it was a little bit strategic. To me, I like the fact that it wasn't the Asia Wilson show. I like the fact that other players were more involved, because typically if you're going to game plan, you're going to game plan for Asia Wilson to be the focal point. And tonight she wasn't, and they was able to still pull out the win. Now Mercury helped, but they were still able to pull out the win, and a win is a win. So I like it. To me, it showed that they have more on their team than just Asia. And a lot of the times, especially like in the previous series, when Asia didn't really score, they didn't. It was hard for them to win. They ended up not winning. Fever took them all the way, to overtime in that final game. So for me, I liked it. It seemed like it was more strategic than it's accidental.
What do you think about Jackie Young?
Me personally?
Yeah, like, what do you guys think about Jackie Young and her stats tonight? I mean, she was 3 of 13, 0% from behind the arc, and, she ended the night with 10 points. Do you suspect that she'll have an off game in game 2? Do you think that she'll be able to bounce right back?
I think she'll bounce back. I mean, throughout the playoffs. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, I don't see her having 2 bad games in a row.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I think that that's really fair. She's been sensational throughout the playoffs for them. So hopefully they can get her like stellar performance back. Anything out of the box score that you guys notice out of Phoenix Mercury that stands out in particular?
Yeah, for me, I just want to know why DeWanna Bonner took 7 threes. For me personally, I don't want to see DeWanna taking that many threes.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I mean, I get it was high energy. They were moving the ball around. I really enjoyed that part of the game from both sides of the floor. But Phoenix Mercury specifically, I think DeWanna, yes, she scored 10 points, but she will find drastically more success if she were to take this inside the paint.
At least 3 of her threes look like desperation. She just yoked them up.
Yeah.
It was just not good shot selection, and then Satu being in foul trouble just from unnecessary silly fouls really changed the course of because again they only had, I think, what was it, 10 or 11 off the bench, as opposed to Vegas having 41 off the bench. So clearly Phoenix doesn't have a deep enough bench for Satu to be out, so that was critical. Obviously she still had 19, but her not being in foul trouble and sitting the second part of the third quarter could have made a huge difference.
Yeah.
Speaking of bench, are y'all surprised that Lexi Held didn't touch the court?
I'm sorry, who didn't touch the court?
Lexi Held.
I think I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, when Whitcomb got hurt, briefly, she pretty much, that was it for her. I don't think she hit any other shots after that, but she still shot like 3 or 4.
I was really sad to see Whitcomb go down.
Yeah,
I was
scared that was serious, like more serious.
I had to close my eyes.
Yeah.
I hate when we replay it. That just drives me crazy. I just was squirming all over the place, and then they're like showing it in slow motion, and I'm like, why do we want to see this knee buckle in slow motion? But I'm glad she was able to come back out, but then her 3 was just way off the rest of the game. So, that changed things too.
Yeah.
And then Kalia never hit another 3 after hitting 5 in the first quarter, tying Diana Taurasi, and then didn't hit another 3 the rest of the game. So sometimes when teams come out too good, I'm like scared that they're not going to be able to finish. And obviously that's what happened tonight. So,
That's the thing about this series, in my opinion, from both teams. You're going to get consistency for the most part from Asia and inconsistency from AT.
Yeah.
without a doubt. But then everybody else, it's like you're almost not sure what you're going to expect from them.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah.
you're like, you're hopeful going into the next game. But the way these two teams were playing, it's possible they could take it to 7, which I think would be awesome since it's the first ever best of 7 series.
Yeah.
I think it would be dope if it went all the way to 7. And it's just like more basketball to watch. But I don't know. I think it's a toss up. I think Mercury's gonna pull this out. I truly, truly do. And I don't see any type of blowouts happening for
Yeah, I don't
any
see a
game.
blowout. Yeah.
No, me either. I think every game is going to be tight. What about Kathy? Do we think she's going to show up in a Aces dress or a Phoenix dress like she did with the New York Liberty
I
last
forgot
year?
about that. Yeah.
I
Oh,
never
girl.
forget. I never, because that was insane. That was insane. Like, was she betting on the game? I mean, that was just crazy.
I
I bet
completely forgot about that.
Alyssa Thomas has got to be her favorite. So I can see her showing up in an AT jersey. She's the only one that doesn't complain about, bum rushing in the lane and all of that. So
And she had no comment about Fee's statement.
I know. And we're gonna go right on ahead. I mean, do you guys feel good about talking about that tonight? Because
Sure.
I think it's only right. I think it's only right to talk about Kathy and this whole Issa Collier saga. I mean, this thing is just kind of crazy. I mean, I cannot believe the way that this is playing out in public, where a player, I think this is the first time we've seen a player publicly criticize the commissioner in such a fashion. So,
Yeah.
do you guys have any? Wow. Do you guys have any closing words about game 1?
I mean,
what do you guys think will game 2?
You said who will win game 2?
Yeah, who will take game 2?
I got Phoenix.
Okay. So we have Brianna and Kaja. You guys have Phoenix. What about you, Angela?
Phoenix.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Phoenix too. So I know we're like, all agreeing, but I do think they're gonna come back, ready to adjust to all the mistakes that they made in game 1 and win it. So we'll see. I think this is gonna be a very competitive series. So we'll just jump right into the next topic. I think it's only right for us to talk about Nafisa Collier versus Kathy Engelbert tonight. And, we've all heard what Collier has said about Kathy, right? And Angela, I think we lost you. You disappeared. Your screen is black again.
Again?
Come back to us.
Come back to us,
I don't
queen.
know why it's doing that.
Step into the light.
That's so weird. I don't know. I'll leave and come back.
Okay. We don't want to start this without you, so we'll give you a moment to come back. But oh my gosh, so Collier, she completely ethered Kathy Engelbert. I mean, you guys saw it. It was like a 4-minute long video. If we want, we can actually play that in the meantime. Do you guys just want to play that?
Yeah, she brought in her paper.
She sure did.
I thought you took notes from her interview.
and I feel like low key she was kind of. I feel like it was a slight dig to Kathy, possibly, because Kathy came with her paper too, and like I don't know how to explain it. I could be reading too much into it, but I felt like it was a little performative what he was doing. Like she took it straight to hell. Actually, she went to the what's beneath hell. That's where Fee went. She went beneath hell.
I mean, we can look in the meantime while we're waiting for Angela to come back. What we can do? Oh, she is back, but maybe we can just. Do you guys want to run through that video, the Nafisa Collier video? I have it, or we can just jump straight into Kathy's reply because Collier completely ethered her ass. I mean, I think she looks like the Angelica doll. Do you guys remember her? She was like all electrocuted with the hair sticking out. Do you guys remember Rugrats?
Yeah.
To me, Kathy Engelbert resembles Angelica.
Wow.
All righty. We have Angela, so we can go ahead. So as you know, Angela, we've all heard Collier's comments. Basically, and just to summarize, she criticized her for her leadership, right? She called out she called out the officiating, she called out the leadership, she called out Kathy Engelbert directly, saying that she never heard from her when she was injured, not even a peep. She said the only players that complain about the officiating are the losers. And she also said that apparently Kathy Engelbert said that Caitlin Clark would be nothing without the WNBA. So Kathy, she responds just this afternoon. She had a press conference right before the Game 1 finals. And so here's her reply. I have it right here, and we're all going to react together. And I'm so excited to hear what you guys have to say about this. It's short, but we'll get right to it.
The Annie Costabile Front Office Sports, you've continued to express that you are disheartened by the characterization of your conversation with Nafisa Collier. Just again, seeking clarity. Did you in fact say that Caitlin Clark should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything? And do you actually feel that way, that without this platform, players like Caitlin Clark wouldn't be making what they do off the court?
Yeah, obviously I did not make those comments. Caitlin has been a transformational player in this league. She's been a great representative of the game. She's brought in tens of millions of new fans to the game, proud of what she's put on the court. Unfortunately, the injuries held her back from a full season this year. But again, I'm not going to get into every counterpoint. It's not productive here. We're here to celebrate the WNBA finals. I think what Indiana just did was amazing with all the injuries they had and the everything they faced this year, bringing that to a Game 5 in overtime. But yeah, as I said, there's a lot of inaccuracies reported out there, and I certainly did not say.
She certainly didn't say that. I think that Kathy Engelbert is a liar. But what do you guys think?
I think she's completely lying. And honestly, I think it just would have been better if she said, hey, the conversation did come up about the potential that the players could make. Because she could have easily just said she's making more than she would be making if she were not in the W, right? She didn't have to say an amount, because for Fee to say 16, like that's such a specific amount. You know, when people lie, in my opinion, they're pretty vague, right? And so if he was gonna, let's say, lie, she might have just said just the statement in general and not said a specific amount. I feel like her saying that specific amount is because Kathy said 16 million, you know? And I think when I was watching it on YouTube, all of the comments, I mean, 100% of the comments were like, Kathy's a liar. I mean, I don't think anyone's believing her in this scenario. I think maybe she's trying to save face for Caitlin specifically, maybe. I don't know, you know, but I just can't see Fee lying. Obviously, we don't know her personally, but just from the response from the league players and their respect for Fee is letting us know that the type of person she is not the type of person that's just going to completely just make something up and fabricate it. So I think Kathy's just lying. I guess there's a catch-22, because who is going to just stand there and say, yes, I said that? But she could have PR'd her way around, you know, yes, we had a conversation talking about, you know, player potential, you know, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, hey, when Caitlin came in, sure, she was making a lot of money, but it tripled with her being in the W. She could have responded better rather than just, in my opinion, blatantly lying, because that's what it looks like to me.
I'm with you.
It's Caitlin Clark. So I feel like from what I saw, I missed the ending part of it because I was turned on to get ready to watch the game and everything. But for me, watching her in the beginning, I feel like she kind of danced around a lot of questions. Like she didn't give any specific answers one way or the other. It's like, oh, well, this, or, you know, well, the players and we're working together and, you know, like all these different things. I'm like, girl, just answer the damn question. Like, you keep going around in circles and you're getting on my nerves. But when it came to Caitlin, she was like, I did not say that. Like, let me put that out there, let you guys know. When it comes to Caitlin, I did not make those comments, you know, because obviously Caitlin has that huge fan base. She don't want that kind of smoke because they will get her fired if Nafisa Collier doesn't. So she went out there and made sure that she cleared that up as much as possible. But for me, and I got to give this a little bit of grace, you know, whenever there's a conversation had, there's always, you know, like three sides to a story, right? There's your side, there's my side, and then somewhere, you know, in the middle is actual truth. So there are parts of the conversation that could have been taken out of context, maybe from, you know, what Kathy said, how Nafisa heard it, you know, but some things are too specific. I'm like, okay, like that's a very specific thing to say when you bring up numbers and things like that, you know. I do wish that, hope that I would have liked that Nafisa didn't bring up the fact that she didn't call her when she
Yeah.
got injured, because it could be taken like kind of being disgruntled. Like, well, everybody else reached out to me, and I didn't hear from her. I understand maybe she felt some kind of way, and maybe she felt as a commissioner, you should have reached out to me. But when you put that in there right after you got hurt, right after your coach got, suspended, for the game that you guys ended up losing after what happened last season, if you're on the opposite side of it, you're like, okay, this is the timing of it, but
Yeah.
overall, I do feel like Kathy was trying to save face, because I'm like, you cleared everything up. You didn't clear anything else up, but you tried to make sure you cleared that Caitlin Clark thing up, because what would happen if you if you didn't. I found it
Right.
interesting.
Yeah, because like I find that interesting too. I got to thinking to myself, where could Fee have heard this, right? Then I started thinking, well, she is a part of the WNBPA, the Women's National Basketball Players Association. She's a active union member, and she's also the owner of Unrivaled. So it wouldn't surprise me if she was a part of those negotiation conversations that Kathy spoke to in the press conference. Similar to Kaja, I missed the end, but I did see the beginning when Malika asked the first question about the comments that Fee had made regarding players got to get on their knees and be grateful. Kathy, like Kaja said, did not address a yes or no to that, and she cleared up the Caitlin. What I'm thinking, if Fee is privy to Kathy saying this, whether she said it or not, Fee is privy to it, then it leads me to believe that this might have been something that she said while they were negotiating, and things probably got heated because they're still in a deadlock in regards to the CBA negotiations, and we are almost to that deadline of October 31st. So I don't think what I see here is that Kathy said it, but she said it thinking that it would never leave the room, and Fee's playing dirty. I'm not gonna lie, I don't appreciate Fee snitching like this. I really think she's doing what she needs to do to get the job done, but to call out Kathy's character, that it was character assassination. You feel what I'm saying? And it goes beyond just her role as a commissioner in this professional setting between a player and a boss, or the league and the play. Like, I just think that was like the lowest of blows that she could have done, and they're really trying to get their way, and I don't like the path that they're taking, whether Kathy's a liar or not. You know what I mean? That job is a hard job, and she has to go up there and say the most politically correct thing, because damn if she do, damn if she won't. So I think it was tough to watch. I'm not pardoning Kathy by any means, y'all. I'm just saying it was tough to watch her get thrown under the bus like that.
I'm wondering if all these months of trying to negotiate Fee and some of the others, NECA and the ones that have backed her, have just felt like there is no other way other than throwing her under the bus at this point, because we're not getting anywhere. So I agree with you. When I think about it in my corporate job, would I ever do something like that? Probably not. But it's like, okay, now we've gotten to the point where we literally have no other choice other than to bring others into this, because we're at a deadlock. Like, we're not going to have a WNBA season next year because of these negotiations. So I don't know. I'm sure Fee talked with her husband and probably some legal advisors. And I don't, even though it seemed very, maybe petty and I don't know what the other word is, but I think it was probably more well thought out than how it has come across.
I get what you're saying. For me, I think she should have cleared it. No, when it comes to your character, and you have Nafisa being the one who did it, because Nafisa it couldn't have been Asia Wilson. It couldn't have been Angel Reese, right? Because there would have been it would not have been taken seriously. They'd have been like, oh, she has a special whistle and she's just one of the black angry, so on and so forth, right? So Nafisa, with her sweet looking face, and she seems so nice and positive and lovely. She's a mom and she plays hard. It's like, for her to come out of all people and call Kathy out, it's like, oh man, like Nafisa don't really say much at all. She shows up, she plays, and that's about it. She goes home, and she's with her family. So I understand why it had to be her. I do get what you're saying, Angela. I think it could have been strategic, more than the way it came across. I'm pretty sure it might have been the conversation between her and NECA, before she came forth and said this. But I'm glad that she did say something. And for me, if I'm Kathy, Don't play with my name, my character, my integrity, okay? You put me out there on Front Street, you assassinated her character. Like, no matter what happens going forward, people are gonna believe that maybe she did say it or that she didn't say it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yes.
Like, I'm like, no, for you to clear up that's the Caitlin Clark part, but not when she asked you about everything else. Stand up for yourself. I did not say that. That's a lie. Like, you spoke up for Caitlin's part, but what about yourself? Like, speak
Right.
up, girl. Like, stand up straight. What we doing here?
Mm.
I'm with all of you ladies. I think that these are all really great takes on this topic. I want to address this comment on the screen. Fee is a sore loser. She said nothing when they were winning. So I want to address this because I think that several things can be true out of this whole scenario. I think that everything that Nafisa Collier said was correct. I think that Kathy Engelbert is a terrible commissioner, and I think what people look for in just modern day times are strong people leaders. We're seeing a shift in the NBA where that kind of punch you in the face in the locker room, you know, is not necessarily the way to lead or the way to lead by example. So people today, whether it's just like modern day work, every day at work, we're looking for strong leaders that are good to people, that care about the, you know, the human side of things, and you know, or have some level of compassion and understanding. So I just think it's interesting that she made the comments that she said about Kathy. I think that they were all right and true, but I also think that it's easily be viewed as, hey, she's a little bit of a sore loser. Would she have made the comments if she was in the finals? If she was headed to the finals, would she have been focused on
No,
making those?
Right.
I don't
I
think
don't think
Good
so.
so.
question.
So I think everything
Yeah.
she said was true, but I don't
Mhm.
it's just like that saying, right message, but wrong messenger. We needed to hear
Right.
someone in the finals say this, somebody that was actually could be conscious enough to, you know, take on Kathy while competing in the finals. But then
Right.
if they it's all a double-edged sword, because if they say it, then they're trying to steer the whistle, you know? So
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
you're almost you're put in this corner of silence, right? So the whole Fee is snitching. She was out of competition, so I think that she was in a good position to say something, but the timing of her losing, her injury, the
Yeah.
fact that, you know, they were screaming. I mean, Cheryl Reeves' behavior, I can't stress that enough. I was disgusted by her behavior. You
Yeah.
know, quite frankly, she deserved the suspension. She did not, that was not a foul. Okay. In my opinion, that was absolutely not a foul. And I thought
I
that that was a
agree.
great call by the officials. And, you know, so that it's that snapshot that we have of them being so angry about that foul that wasn't a foul, that's a phantom foul that they're getting so angry about that she got suspended for. Then fast forward to now this statement, this long, and Brianna, I'm going to use your words, performative, because some of it
Right.
was performative. When you write something down, right? And I do think she could have very well added in the 16 million that Caitlin earns, right? She could be putting a dollar amount on it just to
Mhm.
sort of color, add some color to Kathy's comments. I believe she said these things, but I also believe that Collier could have added color. I also believe that some of this is performative. You lost, you're out of the finals, you're bitter because yet again you lost. You came up short and you want to blame and you want to point the finger. You want to say it was because of your injury and then your injury was because of the officiating. You lost the ball. That was a clean steal. AT stole the ball. It wasn't a foul and she got stripped. She lost the ball. She was pissed and they wanted to make it a foul. And now we're dealing with Collier's comments that they're all true, but it doesn't look good coming from the loser. So Kathy
Yeah.
is right that the losers complain about the officiating. When you're winning and you're the beneficiary of the officiating, it's fine.
So I actually made a whole video because I don't always watch the post game pressers, like almost never really. And I said, you know, does Cheryl complain about the referees when they're terrible, but in a game that they won? Because that happens. You know, they could be bad for both teams. You know, I was courtside at Atlanta all season long. I've been at games where they were just bad on both ends, but maybe you were the victor. I would like for those coaches to still speak up in that moment, because then it gives more validity to the fact that the refs need to be better, as opposed to only you complain when you lose. So I get where, and if she did actually say that, she's probably, statistically right, because you're not thinking about it so much if you at least won the game. So
Right.
some people, and again, some people were like, yeah, Cheryl's complained before, but I'm like, in the press conference when they won and the refs were bad, show me that clip, because that's going to add to it, as opposed to only when, again, like you were just on the better half of the bad reffing, but you won the game. So, and that's not just about that one foul, just all season long.
Right.
I don't know that I've seen that happen, so.
I mean, well, even I get what you're saying, though, because I mean, when you're on the right side of it and you end up winning the game, like you're not going to be as, I guess, pressed to speak up about the bad officiating. But the fact of the matter is that it's been a constant conversation throughout the whole entire season. For multiple
Absolutely.
players, multiple coaches, like multiple fans talking about the thug ball and officiating and the hard fouls that are not called and things of that nature. And before, I think it was a few months ago, she was like, yes, we're aware about the officiating, we're working on it, something like that. She said, I'm paraphrasing, but what did you work on? Because nothing changed,
Yeah,
and if you
tonight.
have, people complained about it, your job is to make a change, somewhat. They still have a job to do, you know what I mean? So do your job. If you have unhappy players, unhappy fans, unhappy coaches, like, I don't want to hear, well, the losers, don't come, don't, the winners, are fine, the losers complain. Like, if they're still complaining about it, do something about it. Do your job, fix it.
Right. Yeah, because tonight
Right.
during the press conference, she said they review every call and non-call of every game. And I'm like, so we have a performance improvement plan, because when was it getting better? If they're actually reviewing every call and non-call for every single game with the referees, I'm assuming she means,
Mhm.
where was the progress over the season where it got better, where it noticeably got
Mhm.
better? I don't see that it did.
Me
you
either.
know, it was a toss up at every game I was at. I'm like, we'll see how it goes. It's just like you rolling the dice every single game, you know.
I'm trying to remember what Kathy described, how what she called the game now. It starts with an M, but she was pretty
Mhm.
much saying like it's way more physical now of a game. Like she said it changed. It's the most physical it's ever been or something like that. So she's like,
Mhm.
every year we have reforms and now they're adding this new committee to the equation of reviewing stuff like that. So
Mhm.
like I was happy to hear that, because I don't know about y'all, but when I think about how these two sides can reach a resolution, because it just seems like it's so damaged, and
Yeah.
I'm like trying to see where are they gonna meet in the middle with this? Like, where is it all gonna land?
Not looking good.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want them to go into a lockout. I really don't. The W has gained too much momentum thus far. I think that's
Mhm.
the worst thing that could happen for them. And all the attention they're getting has been super negative.
I really think that what stands out the most to me about what Nafisa Collier says is that the WNBA has the best players in the world, the best fans in the world, but yet they have the worst leadership in the world. And so
Right.
when I think about when I just think about that comment and what she's saying and how important it is, it's just kind of like, wow, you know, this leadership that they have, when you think about the talent that's in the league, you have Nafisa Collier, Asia Wilson, they're doing things that we just never have seen before, a lot of
Mhm.
these players. And I think that the WNBA this is some of the best basketball that we're going to see for a long time, because we're not getting this level of action, this level of physical play, this level of just coaching at every single moment in the NBA. We don't get that there. So everything matters in the WNBA, every play, every movement. And so when you take a look at that, the players, right, and the talent that they have, the league, the officiating, and the commissioner, quite frankly, just haven't caught up to the level of talent. The
Right.
WNBA does not have a commissioner. The officiating, all of these two areas of the league, I call it the operations. So, it's just like in a company, like the front facing
Mm-hmm.
people, the sales,
Mm.
the pretty people,
Mhm.
they get to be the face of the brand, and they always have to look show ready, right? They're the dog
Yep.
and pony show. They always have to look show ready. Whereas the people in operations, they're kind of like dressed down and dirty, right? And they're
Mhm.
doing everything in the background, and they're the backbone of the company, right? If they're doing a bad job, then the face of the brand is not going to look good. And
Mm-hmm.
so that is basically what's happening in the WNBA. They don't have operations that are leading to the success and the players. The players are not feeling appreciated. They think that it's appropriate to not pay them because they've made poor business decisions. And when you're running a business, that's just not how it works. You have to pay like you weigh, and you have to continue to eat losses if you want to continue to be in business.
Yeah.
That is what it is. But I do think that we could potentially see a lockout. These players are standing more on business. We see them taking a stand. But the fact is they just don't have a commissioner or a league officiating system that's caught up to the talent level of these players.
For sure. I mean, they definitely need to be full-time.
Yeah.
And not doing, 3 or 4 other leagues with different rules. And I mean, I'm not going to be super invested in a part-time job. Let's be honest. Who is?
Yes, you see their pay? The average ref pay.
What is their pay?
I Googled it like a while ago, like a month or so ago. The average referee pay is like, the highest paid is like 80 grand and the lowest is 16 grand. So that's on average probably like 25 to 30 grand. I'm a give or take. That's their pay.
Don't do the job.
That's true too.
If you don't like the pay, then don't do it.
If you don't like the pay, don't do it. But at the same time, they're getting what they're paying for. I'm kind of curious why they're not spending more money. They just improved the travel. They just poured $25 million into their travel so the teams can charter more jets, things like that. They can bypass like the normal commercial flights they're used to. That was $25 million. If the company is doubled in value from 1.6 billion to 3 point something billion, I can understand the women are like, wait a minute. Well, so I'm curious why they haven't poured more money into the refs, or at least hiring higher caliber refs.
Yeah, because if they up the pay and everybody has to kind of reapply type of situation, and then they go back and look at the statistics from this season and say, hey, you had 33 calls overturned or whatever, the percentages, you don't make the cut to get this 150K or whatever they want to up it to, because people are going to perform better each year knowing, well, hey, this pay is going to continue to go up, but then so is our caliber of people. You're not going to be able to just be mediocre or okay as a referee in the WNBA based on what we're paying. So I think it would weed out some of those people possibly that are making the mistakes. I know from, again, being at 25 plus games this season, when I saw certain refs, I was like, yeah, this is not going to be good, because I already knew, this ref is not going to call anything in the paint, or this ref is going to miss all of the out of bounds. They're going to miss everything. Because I was right next to the cameraman, and I would see it go right off of a player's knee, and they were kind of looking at it like they didn't see it, so they're going to do this, But if you're paying more, I mean, sometimes that changes people's performance. Sometimes it doesn't, because, I've managed people for a long time, and sometimes you think they would perform better because the pay is better. And some people are just not good at their jobs. But,
preach.
Every time I made a higher pay and then people below me, I was like, oh yeah, these people are going to be so invested because they're making more. And I'm like, oh no, lazy people are at every level. So absolutely. I mean, there's that. There's that too. But I think, with the pay being more, you're going to have more people applying that may be more qualified, that haven't even applied because they didn't feel like it was worth their time.
I can get with that. I mean, I can get with investing in a higher caliber, ref or, somebody to call the game. But, if they're not going to do that and you're going to sign up for, 80,000, 60,000, whatever it is, then do your job properly or just don't do it.
I agree.
I'm with you, ladies. So how about we take a phone call on this topic? Are you guys down for a phone call or two?
Sure.
Yeah.
Are we ready to call it tonight? All righty. So
chat, call in. We want to hear your thoughts.
All righty, guys. Did Kathy, did she lie about her Caitlin Clark comments? Call the show. Talk to us nice.
Extra nice, okay? This is all lady panel.
I mean,
we're all treatment.
Are we pretty much all in agreement that this could potentially lead to a lockout?
Yes, and my season ticket I think it renews in October. And I've thought to myself, what happens if there's a lockout? Because this is an expensive ticket. Like, what is the protocol? You know, because they take that money out if you don't cancel. And I'm like, what if there's a delay in season or less games or just an issue? And then they say, well, hey, you paid for it, whether we have 20 games or 30, you paid this price.
Right.
You ready? We have our caller.
Yeah.
All righty. Thank you so much for calling Man Down Sports WNBA panel. Talk to us nice.
Hi, this is Michelle. Hi, Don. How you doing?
Hi, Michelle. I'm so good. How are you tonight? Happy Friday.
I'm pretty good. Nice to see an all-ladies panel. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you
Hey,
so much.
Michelle.
You know, what do you think about Kathy Engelbert's comments? And, you know, is she lying about what Nafisa Collier said about what she said about Caitlin Clark?
I think she was lying about everything. She, wouldn't answer questions. She was dancing around everything. And I just think that she's a liar. That's why I don't feel sorry for her that Fee took shots at her, because she's not negotiating in good faith. And you can't keep playing fair with someone who's not going to play by the rules. So I think that's why it happened. I also think that there's a concerted effort between the coaches and the players, because the coaches are going to be negotiating for new contracts and everything soon as well. So they're coming at them together. So I think a lot of the things that have happened lately have been performative, yes, but all to get what they feel that they deserve and what I think they deserve. So I was a little surprised when you guys were all like, oh, it was performative and, kind of looked upon what they did negatively. Because I'm like, if you're not going to play fair, neither am I. That's just my opinion.
Oh, and I think that there's so many different moving parts. And I think your take is really amazing, because there's a lot of different layers to this. There's so many things going on behind the scenes. Do you think that Nafisa Collier revealed every ugly thing that Kathy Engelbert has ever said? I'm sure she didn't, right? And so I'm sure there's so much more to reveal, but she was very calculated, I think, in what she said, and she was strategic. So what do you ladies think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but like I said, I hate a liar, and I hate somebody in power who lies.
Well, I'm curious, Kaja, like, what do you think about what Michelle is saying? Do you think Kathy lied about everything too?
I can barely hear you. What did you say, Don?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I was asking Kaja and the rest of the panel to respond
Oh,
to you.
sorry. I didn't hear that. I'm so sorry.
No, for me, I already said that there was obviously some things that she lied about. The fact that she was able to clear up or at least speak up for herself when it came to Caitlin Clark versus everything else, she kind of tapped around. I found to be really, really interesting. But at the same time, I'm not mad that Nafisa called her out, because I do agree with what you said. Like, if you're not playing, fair, then why should I? And I do believe that there have been conversations that were had several times over. Maybe this is why, like, the boiling point now, like, okay, like, you're not hearing me and our deadline is approaching and we want this deal to be done our way. We're standing on business. So I'm going to make it public now and kind of force your hand, because you're not hearing us privately. So I'm going to address you publicly. But I do feel like, I have to stand on this. I do have to give grace, because there's always three sides to a story. I don't know exactly what was said, the question that was asked, and how Kathy responded, because Fee said what she said, but things can be taken out of context all the time, So I'm going to give Kathy a little bit of grace for that. But like I said, I'm not mad at what Fee did. You got to speak up for yourself, and you got to advocate for yourself for what you deserve, as you should.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Also, that Kathy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I definitely agree that Kathy lied for the most part, but like you said, there is always two, maybe three sides to the story. But I think that, again, I think this was a last resort. I don't think that she wanted necessarily to do it, but I think it was a last resort. But like you had said, the timing, the fact that she just lost, the fact that Cheryl just acted a complete fool in the game, like, all of those things don't help it being the time and right before the finals. Like, the timing, I mean, granted, her exit interview is going to be when it is, But she could have just did her own separate press conference after the finals.
The deadline is October
Michelle,
31st, though, right?
Say again.
I was saying, Bree, you said
Yes.
so yeah, I mean,
And the
we're
deadline is
October? Yeah. So I think
They
it's probably
could
Washington
extend it
now.
though. They could extend it. I don't know the
Mhm.
rules or the extent of extending, but yes, October 31st is not a hard deadline. It's a soft deadline.
Do you ladies think it would have
Michelle's-
been better received if Nneka had said it versus Nafisa?
I think so, just because I think she has less there was a less controversial situation that she was coming out of. She was
Mhm.
eliminated. So for
Right.
me, she literally had nothing. She was eliminated in the first round.
Yeah.
So she had nothing. She would have just had no real skin in the game. There was nothing controversial that happened in her series, in my opinion, that, anybody could be looking at her like, oh my gosh, she's a sore loser, or,
Right.
how convenient. So I think that, again, Nafisa Collier would not have made these comments if oh, Michelle, can you do me a favor and just mute your background? Because I think your YouTube in the background is echoing.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Oh, no worries. But yeah, I just think that it's very convenient, and I think we did need a more impartial voice to deliver this
Mhm.
message, although
That's
everything
better.
she said was very true, and I do think that you've gotta fight in the ways that you can. So if Nafisa Collier, the only way to get Kathy Englebert's attention was to do something public in this fashion, embarrass her this way, and really put her in the hot seat, I mean,
Mhm.
what's she gonna do? She's kick Nafisa Collier out of the league? No, I mean, she could probably continue to make it really difficult when they play. Make sure that they
Mhm.
continue to lose is going to happen. And so really interesting stuff here. But Michelle, did you want to have any final closing thoughts?
Um, I don't know. I just think that Fee, I think it was a concerted effort for Fee to do it because she has the least to lose. She already has money. She's making money from Unrivaled. She doesn't, have that much to lose if they, throw her out the league or whatever. And I think that's why she did it as opposed to everybody else. That was the only other thing I wanted to say. But thank you for having me, ladies. Have a
Thank
good
you
evening.
so much,
Of
Michelle. We look
course.
forward to hearing from you next week.
See
All
you,
right. Have a good
Michelle.
evening. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
All righty. Do you guys have time for one more phone call? I think there was someone with an 804 area code trying to get through.
They were trying to get
So
through.
would love to
Call
hear from
back.
them,
Virginia.
right?
That's where I'm from.
Okay,
Call
DMV.
Call in, talk to us nice.
Oh, and while we're waiting for them to dial in, I do want something was on my mind. Oh my gosh. Oh man.
I
It
hate
was
when that happens.
about Nneka. That was such a good question, Kaija, because I think it would have been better if Nneka said it because she's the president
Yeah.
of the union.
Mhm.
Like, girl, she should have said it. President addressing president. Like,
Yeah, it would
I
have made
think,
sense.
yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just said yeah, it would have made sense. And like you said, she didn't have a series where it was a controversial ending or any of that. So it
yeah.
just would have came
I don't
across
mean to
better.
interrupt, but we do have our next caller.
Yeah.
You guys
Oh.
ready?
Yes.
Thank you for calling sports. I'm sorry. Thank you for calling Man Down Sports WNBA panel. Talk to us
Hello?
nice. Hi. Talk to us nice. Thanks
Yes.
for calling the panel. Hello.
Yeah, my name is James, and I think she lied. I mean, she lied. She really lied. She covered up. I think she covered up because she got caught in a lie by the big bosses herself, and she trying to save her job for her own career.
Is her career really in jeopardy? I mean, what do you ladies think? Do you think the caller has a point that Kathy was trying to save her career because
And plus, Caitlyn, she could lose I think. Well, from what I heard, she could lose at least $50 to $100 million if Caitlyn leaves the league.
Well, Caitlin's not going to leave.
No,
So,
she's not gonna leave.
yeah,
But
Caitlin's not going anywhere. But having Caitlin's fans against Kathy definitely would be detrimental to her having a smooth. I don't think
She
that
can't
would.
afford that, and the league can't afford that.
That's why she cleared that up. Or tried to.
I don't think it would be a smart move for the league to fire Kathy because, like, I just don't think that would be good. I don't think the NBA owners who are really calling the show, in my opinion, I don't think they want to get rid of Kathy because she's genuinely not the head. If you get rid of her and you put somebody else in and nothing changes, then it's going to expose the NBA and the owners. It's not going to fix, and everything's not going to magically get fixed because Kathy's gone. Like, I think no offense, Kathy, we're giving that woman way too much credit here for the power that she has.
I agree.
So you cut her off. You cut the head off the snake, you're gonna see the snake is still moving because Shorty is not the head.
But I think what it is, I think Caitlin bringing other players money, and like her and Paige Beckers and you name it, whoever coming into the league, Juju Watkins, the Nike deals and all those, they bring money into the league, and she scared. She says she'll lose all that. The league will lose all that by her comments.
Perhaps. I mean, I don't think so. I think that commissioners in every league and every sport that we've seen have done worse things than Kathy Engelbert. So I doubt she's going to get fired. She's going to be in the hot seat for a long time, just like we've seen other commissioners, and whether it was MLB, NFL, we've seen things like this before. And I think she's going to get called out until she makes a change. But I don't think she's going to get fired just off of the sheer business decisions that she's made to help move the league forward. So I don't think Adam Silver cares enough about the WNBA, or, the NBA doesn't care enough about the WNBA and its leadership to make some sprawling change.
I agree. Yeah.
I think she can be. Depending on what happens with this new agreement, if there is a lockout, that does happen, combined with everything else that the players are saying, because Sophie Cunningham spoke out, Fee spoke out. I think it's possible, depending on how that goes.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your call tonight. We really appreciate it. Certainly tune in next week and call in again.
In my opinion, I think she needs a face-to-face with Caitlin Clark.
A face-to-face with Caitlin Clark? I mean, I'm sure we'd all love to see it. We're waiting.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for calling in. Have a wonderful night.
Take care, man.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Alrighty. So, I mean, I think we all pretty much agree that this is headed down a really, really dark path. And it's just kind of like we're all at the end of our seats. It's kind of like, when you watch reality TV and it's like that train wreck, and you hate the show, but you just can't help but watch the train wreck.
Oh yeah,
So
Real
that's what
Housewives. I'm addicted.
I feel like in the WNBA is sort of like a train wreck that we can't help but to watch. But the basketball is still so good that I'm just really excited for the rest of the series, and truly I'm super excited to see you ladies next week. So do you guys feel like this is a good place to end?
Sure.
Yeah.
Righty. Happy Friday, everyone. Don't forget, like the video. That's really important. Hit the notification bell so you can get some notifications about when we're going to go live. And also share the video. Share the video with your friends, your family. If you like WNBA content, then push this out on your social media. Let's make the community bigger. We just love talking about sports and having a good time. So happy Friday, and we'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Yes, indeed. Good night.
Bye, y'all. Good night.